Hello once again, everyone, and welcome to Cruisnick's Purgatory. I'm your host, Cruisnick X, and we are back in the Kurthus Western Highlands, and I am busting my hump trying to get my microphone in the right place so that I can do this. So, we finally reached level 80 on Dragoon, so we're back in Shadowbringers content to bring you the Path of the Dragoon. First and foremost, I want to show off the new gear set. This here is the weathered Tarot Slaver, the weathered Tarot Slaver male. And of course, we've got the Armet, the male, the gauntlets, the Sublagar, and the Greaves. And I gotta say, this is probably my first or second favorite. In terms of helm, I definitely like the this one as opposed to the last expansion's artifact armor, or hell, even the Draken armor from 2.0. Though I'm still kind of in debate over whether this one is better than the than Heavensward's helm. But that's a debate for another time. Arm guards, I'm looking at them. I like them somewhat, but at the same time, they're a little bit spiky for my taste. The mail is probably my favorite of all the Dragoon's armor, and of course the leg and feet gear definitely cry out Dragoon. So I definitely enjoy this one. Also equipped, I forgot to mention, I have the level 80 artifact, Dragoon artifact, the weathered Trishula. And of course, to obtain all this armor, you do have to complete the level 80 physical DPS role quest and have completed the level 80 quest Shadowbringers. So now that we've done all that, oh, I forgot to mention, the male has this wonderful little tail that conforms to a tail if you actually have one. And I gotta say, I just love it. It is awesome. It's interesting to see how it melds with your actual tail. Just gives me chills thinking about it. Good chills, not bad chills. Anyways, let's move on to some of the changes that have happened in for Shadowbringers. Now, I'm gonna start off with like I did in the last physical DPS, going over what has changed with the role actions first and foremost. So because of the TP removal, the removal of technical points in Shadowbringers, a fair amount of TP gaining abilities have been removed. So Invigorate and Goad have been removed, which is good for me because I was just sick of them. Well, I was mostly sick of Goad and how I could only target it on a different person. Invigorate, however, I couldn't care less about. After a while, I just stopped remembering it was there. But melee DPS has 6 actions now. Diversion, Invigorate, Goad, and Crutch were removed from the list in terms of role actions. We still have second wind. DPS still have second wind, which is now which has a 120-second recast time, instantly restores HP, but we already knew that. The cure potency has been changed to 500. It actually varies with the current attack power, so just as well. At level 10, we get leg sweep, which is a 40-second recast time that stuns the target for 3 seconds. Level 12, you get Bloodbath, which is a 90-second recast time and converts a portion of physical damage dealt to HP for 20 seconds. At level 22, you'll get Fate, which is a 90-second recast and lowers the target's strength and dexterity by 10% for 10 seconds. Wow, I am losing it today. At 32, you get Arm's Length, which is a 120 recast time. Creates a barrier nullifying most knockbacks and draw-in effects for 6 seconds. It also has a duration. It also has an additional effect of slow plus 20% when the barrier is struck, and it gives that debuff for 15 seconds. Last and certainly not least, with the new charge abilities, certain abilities have an ability to be charged, and in this case it's the level 50 roll action True North, which nullifies all action direction requirements for a duration of 10 seconds. It has a maximum charge of 2, and it's certainly useful for me because there are times where I just cannot be asked to remember what direction I'm supposed to be in, so I've been popping this like a lot lately. So yeah, those are just what has changed with the roll actions. Let's move on to the abilities of each of the job itself. Where is it? Melee, DPS. Here we go. Alright, so the Dragoon's Dragon Gauge has changed up us a little bit. It's more detailed now than I remember. Though I'm gonna be perfectly honest, I forgot that that it was even there because it used to hide itself all the goddamn time. So it's nice that it's actually visible now instead of how it was in the beginning, because it took me a long time to get that where it is today. Let's talk about what we've lost in terms of abilities. First and foremost, you'll notice that Impulse Drive and Heavy Thrust have been removed. Now, if you'll remember correctly, Impulse Drive was the first of a secondary Dragoon combo, and Heavy Thrust was the second skill of your first main combo. So, or was it the last one? I forget. All I know is that they were removed, so the Dragoon's combos have been changed up considerably within this particular within this particular job. But it still functions well. It's a fair bit quicker than before, and a lot stronger than it was, like, say, in 2.0 when you couldn't go 5 steps without dying. So that's, but let's not keep going on that. Let's talk about current ability changes. First and foremost, your level 1 True Thrust has increased in potency from 160 to 290, so that is a significant increase as opposed to last expansion. Your level 4 ability, Vorpal Thrust, now has a 350 combo potency as opposed to its original 250. Life Surge has been reduced. Life Surge's effect has been reduced to 5 seconds as opposed from its Life Surge went down from level 18 to now it's obtained at level 6. It also now has a 45-second recast time as opposed to last expansion when it was 50 seconds. Level 15, you gain Piercing Talon, whose potency has been increased from 120 to 150. Level 18, you still get Disembowel. The piercing resistance down effect that was originally with it has been removed. It now combos with True Thrust. It has a combo potency of 320 as opposed to its original, which was 240. The combo bonus increases damage dealt by 10%, and that duration lasts for 24 seconds. At level 26, you get Full Thrust. It increased in potency from 450 to 530. At level 30, now level 30, you Blood for Blood has now become Lance Charge. It increased from 80 seconds to a 90-second recast timer, so 1.5 minutes. It now increases damage dealt by 15%. The damage taken increase has been removed, and the duration now lasts for 20 seconds. At level 30, when you finally achieve Dragoon, you still get Jump. The potency has been increased from 260 to 310. Elusive Jump no longer removes Heavy or Bind, and the enemy having effect has been removed from it. Man, a lot of changes in this one. Doom Spike's potency has been increased from 140 to 170. Spine Shatter Dive has been increased from 240 to 290, and its DOT potency has been increased from... I'm getting winded here. From 35 to 45, so nice little boost on that. Dragonfire Dive's potency has been increased from 320 to 380. Battle Litany now increases the critical hit rate of yourself and nearby party members to 10%. It's reduced from 15%. Blood of the Dragon's 30-second duration has been increased. Blood of the Dragon's duration has been increased from 20 seconds to 30 seconds. My bad. I'm losing it today. Let's see. Fang and Claw's potency has been increased from 260 to 320. Its flank potency has been increased from 300 to 360. Nice little ability change there. Gear Skull's potency has been increased from 230 to 270, and the Dragon Gauge cost of 2, and it now has a Dragon Gauge cost of 2 as opposed to 3. Let's see. Level 62 Sonic Thrust has increased... Wait, what? Doesn't look like Sonic Thrust has been changed at all. It's saying it's got a 200 combo potency as opposed to 200. So, I don't know. I'm reading off a list here that someone else compiled, so maybe I'm just seeing things wrong. Level 68's Mirage Dive has been increased in potency from 210 to 250, and Nostron's potency has increased from 70 points from 330 to 400. Now, let's take a look at some new abilities. At level 72, you get Curthin Torment. This delivers an attack with a potency of 100 to all enemies in a straight line before you. It shares a combo action with Sonic Thrust, and it is a awesome ability. I've had the chance to practice with it on several occasions, and I enjoy it a lot. Its combo potency is 230, and the combo bonus extends the Blood of the Dragon duration by 10 seconds for a maximum of 30 seconds. At level 74, you obtain the trait Jump Mastery, which upgrades high jump to high jump, which we have here. Now, high jump has a range of 20 yalms, a 30-second recast time. It delivers a jumping attack with a potency of 400, and it returns you to your original position after the attack is made. This is a lot. Let me just be clear. This is definitely an upgrade from the original jump. If you'll recall, jump was wicked slow. Jump was like wicked slow, so to combat that, they added high jump in this expansion, which is a lot faster. I think, as opposed to probably like the 3 seconds it took to... I think it took 3 seconds just to do jump, and high jump has reduced that to like a second. It is a beautiful thing. At level 76, you gain the trait Lance Mastery 2, which increases the potency of True Thrust to 290 and Vorpal Thrust to 350. It also grants Ride-in Thrust Ready if Fang and Claw is executed following Wheeling Thrust, or vice versa, while adhering to the directional requirements. Now, I had a problem with this, and I'm probably going to continue to have a problem with this, which is why I have True North set to my hotbar, because it can be confusing or hard to remember whether or not you're supposed to be behind or at the side. At least it's confusing for me. Either way, let's move on. Speaking of Ride-in Thrust, that's another level 76 ability that we gain. It delivers an attack with the potency of 330, and can only be executed when Ride-in Thrust is ready. The action cannot be assigned to a hotbar, as it replaces True Thrust when Ride-in Thrust Ready is active. The True Thrust ability changes to Ride-in Thrust. At level 78, we gain the trait Blood of the Dragon Mastery, which extends the duration of Blood of the Dragon and Life of the Dragon to 30 seconds. I could not be happier about this skill. It makes things a whole lot easier for me. Last but certainly not least, at level 80, we gain the weapon skill, the ability Stardiver. This is the most beautiful thing, and if you saw the job action, the Shadowbringers job actions video, you'll understand how awesome this ability is. This is basically the same as Nidhogg's ultimate attack in the Final Steps of Faith, just minimized and condensed for Dragoons. Now, Stardiver has a range of 20 yalms and a radius of 5 yalms. It has a 30-second recast time. It delivers a jumping, fire-based attack to all nearby enemies with a potency of 550 for the first enemy and 30% less for all remaining enemies. It can only be executed under the effect of Life of the Dragon and cannot be executed while bound. So that's basically the gist of all this. Dragoon has become a lot more versatile, a lot more hard-hitting, and the DPS is just insane. Anyways, let's move on to the actual reason why we're here. The level 80 Dragoon quest. Now, we've been through a lot. We've fought an Azure Dragoon twice even throughout the entire storyline, if you were following. We've been helping friends, we fought dragons, we've made friends with dragons. It's really been an interesting ride. I'm wondering how this quest will play out. Let's not waste any more time and speak with Alberic and complete the level 80 Dragoon quest, Gone but Not Forgotten.
Ah, Chris. It has been too long since last we spoke. Your visits are far more frequent than those of another former student of mine, however. It would seem he still prefers to keep his own company. The same could be said of Houston, who has made quite the name for herself as a hunter in Dravania, according to On Kai. Ah, what fortunate timing! Speak of the dragon and he shall appear.
Greetings. Would I be correct in guessing you have returned fresh from one of your adventures?
I traveled to a world beyond our own. And now we explain the entire story of Shadowbringers.
To think that such a place could truly exist.
And that you have fought with such terrifying foes. To fall so far from grace. 'Tis a tragic tale if ever I heard one.
One similar to that of Nidhogg.
Aye, though nothing will ever compare to his malice. Even death could not quell his thirst for vengeance. At least Andrea was not nearly so consumed by hate. I doubt not that Rendare's soul is at peace.
Peace. I wonder if Nidhogg ever found it.
I fear his soul yet lingers, doomed to wander endlessly.
That is too cruel a fate, even for him.
I share your sentiments, for as the Azure Dragoon I once gazed into his heart, as he gazed into mine. Such rage, such sorrow.
I will not accept this. That none should mark his passing is more than I can bear. What say you, Chris?
Perhaps we could honor who he once was, if not what he became.
Then we are in agreement. Though I must admit that as part of Hraesvelgur's brood, I have little knowledge of Nidhogg. A deeper insight is needed if I am to properly pay my respects. Farnham is of his brood. If anyone would know, it is her. Let us make haste for Zenith.
Alright, so we're off to Zenith. Oh, whoops. Wait, what the hell armor is that? Never seen that armor before. Interesting. Anyway, off to Zenith. Alright, considering I don't want to run up a whole flight of stairs again, like I used to do.
Farnham is come.
At least we didn't have to blow a horn for her.
Welcome, noble Dragoon. Onkai has explained all. Pray tell, what was Nidhogg to you?
A relentless adversary.
And much more, for through his power you are forever joined. Two souls entwined by fate. Though you have faced Nidhogg's wrath and sensed his pain, you cannot know him as we dragons once did. We would fain hear this tale. Nidhogg was without equal, even among our kind. Destined was he to guard this world from the catastrophe that befell the Dragon Star, in place of his sire. He valued strength above all else, and considered the affairs of mortals beneath his notice. Only the 7 great worms were worthy of his attention, and among them none but Ratatoska truly understood him. Her song was beautiful indeed, and she graced both dragon and man with her wisdom. She was invited by Thordan, King of Men, to speak on our behalf. Ratatoska expressed our desire to live in harmony. However, it was known that Nidhogg did not share these views. When the king asked her how her brother saw mankind, she did not hide the truth. He believed that such frail creatures were incapable of protecting this star, that the task must be entrusted to the 7 great worms alone.
And that is why Thordan slew her?
Ratatoska had no intention of sowing discord, but the king could not countenance that his kind would be treated with such contempt, that we dragons would seek to claim this star as our own. He turned on Ratatoska, taking not only her eyes, but her life. When Nidhogg discovered that King Thordan had murdered his beloved, his fury was beyond reckoning. For all his strength, he could not master his own rage. It utterly consumed him. Dragons, men, we are all the same. Slaves to our emotion, subservient to our hearts. Yet there are those who would seek another path, as I once did. I turned my back on my father and his quest for vengeance. Valiant Dragoon, by your strength was the Dragon Song War ended, and by your compassion was a new alliance forged. Chris and I are living proof that we can live side by side. We shall speak the message of peace to man and dragon alike. And when we are gone, our descendants will do the same. Tell them of Nidhogg, his strength, his weakness, his love, his hate. Tell them the truth. Onkai, you wish to commemorate Nidhogg's passing, yes? As my father once enjoyed the fragrance of mist lilies, perhaps they would make a suitable offering. What a splendid idea! Thank you, Fanem. I have often seen such flowers blooming in Old Tan. Follow me.
Alright, now we have to search for mist lilies. Whoops, wrong mount. I love this mount a little too much. At least I don't cry as much when Dragon Song plays now. I remember when I first heard it, it was like, I like literally like teared up. But God's help me if I still don't love the churning mist and its music. Here we are. Alright, somewhere there should be mist lilies around here. Just a small little area. Oh, hello. That was easy.
So there were mist lilies here after all. Then it would appear my memory served me correctly. A pity that the same cannot be said of my eyes. It is of no matter. There is one thing that concerned me, however. In your funerary rites, the offering of flowers and such occurs at a grave or place of significance, I believe. But where should we choose for Nidhogg? Kirabania. Yes, that could be considered his final resting place, if that was where you fought the primal born of his eyes. Although I must say, Chris, you seem rather adept at putting down dragons, and primals that resemble dragons. It makes me glad that we are not enemies. To matters at hand, then. I shall go on ahead and meet you in Girabania.
I'm surprised that did not hurt my character's neck. Girabania, where exactly? The Alamegan Quarter. Okay. There is no way in the seventh circle of hell I am navigating this maze. Alright.
What a relief to have found you at last. I had become rather lost, you see. Perhaps we had best hurry on to the Royal Menagerie before I lose my way again. Nidhogg, we are come to honor your memory. Though now that we are here, I am at a loss for words. Chris, is there anything you wish to say?
Your legacy will live on in the songs of your people. From a distant star, a father bore 7 eggs. Great worms rose forth, powerful and wise. On blackened wings, one soared high with a roar that set the world a-tremble. Guarding their home in the father's stead, he was fearsome yet just. Man, wicked and vain, betrayed the worm and his kin, slaying his beloved and plucking out his eyes. Thenceforth, he lived only for vengeance, his wrath irrepressible. 1,000 years hence, 2 champions of mankind were granted great strength by the stolen eyes. Destined were they to face the worm, who had risen once more to wage war on his sworn enemy. At the end of their struggle, the wayward son fell silent. These guardians and their comrades continued to watch over the star, their heroic deeds recounted by minstrels and storytellers far and wide. Even the ancient foe from which the father of dragons once fled could not withstand their might.
Chris, I am not blind to the sins Nidhogg committed. I mourn the loss of what he once was. What he may have become had he been dealt a kinder fate. Although this was but a small gesture, I am sure that our thoughts have reached him. I have much to ponder on the return journey, and I expect that Alberic will wish to hear what we have learned from Farnham. Perhaps you could visit him in Kurthus.
Alright, back to the observatorium. Oh, right. Gotta go by Camp Dragonhead. I mentioned this before the episode started, but I had forgotten why I hated the Dragoon questline so much, and it wasn't because of the storyline or anything. It was because it's like every time a storyline in the Dragoon sense starts, I have to trek all the way from Dragonhead to the observatorium, and it's just a drive that is a pain in the ass. And at nighttime, it's just so silent, it's not even funny. But it is appropriate that we did that during sunset. Alright, let's speak to Alberic.
Were you able to pay your respects? I see. This is the first time I have heard such a detailed account of King Thornton's acts. A betrayal in the moment, but a betrayal nonetheless. A pity he is far beyond the reach of justice. Though it may be hard to come to terms with the crimes of our forebears, we must accept the past for what it is. Of course, I shall be sharing this information with the rest of the Temple Knights. No doubt they will be keen to speak with other members of Nidhogg's brood to verify this version of events. In the meantime, there is still much to be done in building relations between man and dragon. We will aim to follow the example set by you and Onkai, and work together for the good of all. May the Fury guide you both.
And with that, we've unlocked the achievement, Dragoon Age 4. With it, we've earned another brand new achievement. Now I'm Bolt from the Black Chris Valentine. A nice little bit of closure to the Dragon Song War and to Nidhogg's little story there. And and a nice opening for any future exploits in future expansions. But with that being said, that's going to conclude this episode of Kruznix Purgatory. Before we go, I do want to say, I want to give a shout out to, first and foremost, my social manager, Aria Stormborn, who was on the chat this entire time. I also want to thank Discord Official, that's DYSCORD, who is hosting me on his channel, and he just recently followed me before this episode even started, so I want to thank him for following me, thank him for auto-hosting me. I really appreciate it, and I cannot talk today. I appreciate everything. I appreciate all of my angelic demons here at Kruznix Purgatory. It wouldn't be what it is if it wasn't for you guys. With that being said, that's going to be it for this episode of Kruznix Purgatory. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you all enjoyed the show. As always, if you're watching this on Twitch or live at PlayStation and you like this show, click the follow button, be sure to turn on notifications so you're well informed, and be sure to subscribe to me for access to exclusive live streams and videos. If you're watching this on YouTube and you like this video, click the like button below and leave a comment. Subscribe to my channel by clicking here. Click here to watch more by me. Click here to watch the previous ending in Stormblood, and click here to watch the next episode when it comes out in the new expansion. Until next time, Kruznix X. signing out.